Hi, hello, welcome back. Good evening. Welcome back to the show. Not a lot has changed since yesterday in terms of price movement. Just look at what do you even call this candlestick pattern? Like it's all just practically flat, but nonetheless, we are climbing in recent hours. Pretty good stuff to see for Bitcoin. 109,276 is the current price. Yeah, really not much has changed in terms of my analysis, other than I'm impressed. I'm actually really impressed by the super trend level where it is at right now, 112,290, which that dropped much lower to where I was expecting it to, right? Just yesterday, where were we? So if it's 20 o'clock here, 29 of August, 20 o'clock, we were looking at super trend around 114,000. And I was like, oh, I'm hoping we're seeing this drop to at least 113. We dropped it to 112,000, which means that for us to break out of 112,000 means we would be back in an uptrend, which that is so close from here. And I'd also be positive in my trade because my average price is 111,939, so it should be pretty good. We are getting new pivot levels by tomorrow. So I would practically ignore what we currently see for here, although they did help us in determining our entries, so God bless that. And I think we're good overall here, not complaining too much. I did have my other order down here at 104,000. Don't think that's going to get triggered. And of course, worst case scenario is this area, 96, 97, 98,000, which would be bull run defining, which I don't think we're going to approach those. Hopefully not. Because really there's no reason to. I'm looking at the news all the time. I'm like, okay, what's the main catalyst? Why Bitcoin is not go up? And I can't give you a good reason, honestly. So I feel like we don't deserve this kind of drop. Things should be recovering pretty soon. I don't want to jinx it again this week, because last week I said, oh, we're probably going to have a good week after seeing this kind of pump over here, and no, clearly not. We've continued dropping a little lower. The downtrend has indeed prevailed, but I think that we are close to breaking out of it at last, and breaking above 112,000, closing above that, would confirm the trend reversal, meaning that 107,000 was indeed the bottom. I was predicting a low of 108,000, I think. My order got filled right over here. And, I mean, ultimately, what am I doing? Ultimately, we overcame that. Sure, we did approach that area. And now we're on our way back up. At least that's what it seems like by now. You can't call a victory too early because it is indeed only a Saturday today. Tomorrow, Sunday, around this time, we could start seeing some movement once again. And also, if I'm doing nothing tomorrow, I'll be streaming and we'll see what's going on there. Rumors. I heard that Trump is probably going to announce something big tomorrow afternoon. Source is a tweet that I saw. That's it. It's rumors. It's probably nothing. Nothing ever happens. So yeah. Nonetheless, a reversal is looking very likely, and I'm happy to see that. Although, you can't rule out this support if the downtrend does continue, so keep that in mind. 112,000, important. That's all I got for Bitcoin's sake. I know I'm down about 3,000, but when I'll be up, I will be up. Believe me. Alright. I'm paying so much in funding fees. It is insane. That is brutal. I mean, fair enough, I'm dropping a lot over here, but I really hope it's worth it once we do hit that 135,000 target. Okay. Yeah, paying $300, 300 some, even if it's $1,000 that I have to pay in fees. Although I'm not going to jinx myself to that. With a gain of 25,000, when we hit that price target of mine, should be pretty good. I don't know about you. Is that actually my price target? I think I put it a little lower than that, didn't I? Here it is. What are these numbers? 135, 351. It's supposed to be 135, 047.10. I'm just gonna just adjust it because I have OCD. 047.1. There we go. Oh, 24,000. Really? A $300 difference in Bitcoin will give me, well, $300, I guess, of a difference in here. I don't know. I mean, I have a whole Bitcoin right here. Fair enough. Yeah, we're hitting 150k anyway, so I mean that's what a lot of other people are saying, like at least 150k for them to be satisfied for this bull run. Me personally, being as conservative as possible, I'm looking at 135,000. So yeah, so I'll leave that there, and if I get a little bit too excited down the line, depending on where we are a couple weeks from now, I'll decide whether or not I sell a bit early. Might absolutely regret it, but we'll see. Also, I'm already paying, like, going to be paying this much, which will be taken out from this. So it is going to be about 24,000 something of profit. You know what? I'm going to do it. I'll just adjust it. 047.1. There we go. There we go. Okay. My Solana position is no longer here. Something else is gone. Hyperliquid is gone, and what else am I missing? I feel like something else was missing. Nothing had to take profit yet. Well, yeah, it's probably just those two. Hyperliquid was a bonus position. That was a loss, and Solana absolutely ruined me for no apparent reason. It just decided to wake up and be a bully. So I had great entries in Solana right over here. Practically bought the bottom, started rising, put a stop loss at 200, and we dropped from there, hit the 200, and now next week we're going to go all the way up here, and it's going to be great. I won't have any Solana to go with, so the stop loss hunting is real. Or maybe it was my fault. I should not have put a stop loss at 200. I could have put a stop loss maybe a bit lower and positive, but yeah. The other positions are starting to look a little green. I did DCA a bit into Sonic, although I'm not expecting it to do anything major in terms of price movement. Matter of fact, I could just take this $36 profit and put my order back down here. Or I don't know, I'll wait till we get new pivot levels just to help determine where we will be expecting the price. And then I don't know, because we're expecting that vote to pass by September 1st. And that should bring some short-term inflation. I don't know if it's all going to happen at once, but we'll see. I'll be keeping my eye on that. I also still have some USDT available for possibly an entry on World Liberty Financial. Also September 1st, I would expect a drop in the price. Token unlocks, lockbox unlocks, people will be able to sell, spot markets are open. I think long term it will start accumulating once again. I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be taking profits, so to speak, or maybe not, who knows. If people have a long-term vision for the project, which I do, then it should be pretty good. They're integrating with Solana, at least their USD1 stablecoin will be integrating with Solana. That was announced. And Tron guy, Justin Sun, is their financial advisor. World Liberty Financial holds a lot of Tron. So yeah. Can I check what are the holdings of World Liberty Financial? I probably can. I know they hold some like Avalanche, Tron, stuff like that. I'm still doing the thing with my mic in my hand. Is it this? They're getting a World Liberty Financial app, London Borrows thing. Where do I see like what they hold? Providers overview. No, this is USD1. Goes live soon. I don't know. A portfolio. I guess I could have just clicked this. All right, let's see. Great. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Here we are. They hold some say, how do I see like their, I'm not looking for their profits, but like how much they hold. Oh, I guess you could look at this. It seems like it's mainly Ethereum now. I mean, that was a given. We knew that the Trump family was buying lots of Ethereum ever since Ethereum was like at very low prices, right? Around $2,000. What else they got then? USDT is stablecoin, USDC stablecoin, wrapped Bitcoin. Then they got a lot of Tron, and then the rest is other assets. Of course, Tron is in here because Justin Sun's involvement in the project. The other assets seem to involve Say, Chainlink, Aave, Athena, Ondo Finance. All great projects so far, by the way, except for maybe Tron, maybe. I don't know about Move. USD1's the stablecoin they're launching. Avalanche, I wouldn't be so bullish on. Build on, is this like a meme coin? I'm pretty sure it is. They hold some Mantle. I'm not too familiar with Mantle. I've seen it around a lot, but I don't know exactly what they do, so I haven't researched the project. I don't know what White Rock is. I'm assuming the opposite of Black Rock, ironically. EOS, heard of them, but don't know much about them. Falcon USD, I'm assuming this is a stable coin as well. And EGL1. Eagle1? What is this? I'm assuming a meme coin. EGL1. Where's... This looks like a coin market cap type website. Interesting. But it doesn't tell me what it is about. I guess I'll have to go to coin market cap itself. EGL1. It looks like a meme coin. I don't know. It's number 700 or 500. First ever superhero meme. I am Eagle is landing America first. Bold Eagle first. So be the EGL1. Yeah, it is indeed a meme coin. It seems like the only meme coin that they hold on this portfolio. Interestingly enough. Unless White Rock is also a meme coin. What is that? What is White Rock? White Rock. Number 222. Do we get an about section? RWA, okay. Looked like a meme coin to me, but whatever. Interesting. Okay, so that's what we got going on for World Liberty Financial. Like I said, I'm still considering adding this to my portfolio, but I'm going to wait for a good drop, because we did have our drop over here, but I thought this is a bit too early to actually determine an entry. I'm going to be playing it safe, so I'm just going to wait it out a little bit. I also had entries on Aave, which we know not much has changed. Pengu as well, not much has also changed here. If we do continue dropping with it, I'd still DCA into it. Like, I am confident Pengu would be a great meme coin play. Pepe has also always been a favorite of mine, and I think it'll never die. So that's going strong. Might as well analyze the rest of the coins here. Ethereum surprisingly up 2% right now. 4,445 current price. On our way to our resistance, seemingly at 4,578, 4,580. Approximately those levels. Don't got a lot of news for Ethereum here. You know, we got the same business as usual, institutional adoption, that kind of stuff's kind of going on. We got Tom Lee going crazy with the Ethereum buys, holding at record amounts. He's basically like the Michael Saylor, but for Ethereum. Yeah. Surprisingly, Sonic making me the most for today. Well, one of the most. Aptos is also up a little. 435 current price, not too bad for Aptos. Token unlocks happening though on September 5, I think, or September 9. Could be coming soon. And if it does drop like significantly, I will obviously continue buying, because I think we are practically bottomed out over here on Aptos. Still think that. Solana kind of already took a gander at it, but the price is 204. If it goes sub 200, I'd be buying in once again, because I still think we are able to maintain this uptrend. One of the few that has not flipped its super trend to the other side. Solana, that is. Has Ethereum done? Yeah, Ethereum has gone down in a downtrend, I mean. XRP also in a downtrend. So yeah, Solana probably one of the few maintaining its uptrend. Pretty good stuff. Strong with Solana. I mean, it was about time that it started moving. It was one of the few that didn't get that initial move when Ethereum was making its all-time highs. But now, you know, we're starting to see some of that interest in that sector of the crypto market, right? So we do know Solana is like the Ethereum killer, and seems like that momentum is starting to come back to Solana. I did also notice, speaking of Solana and meme coins, stuff like that, Meme Core, MUSDT, had a crazy pump. It boosted up to like $1 just out of the blue. Yeah, look at this. What? We were averaging out, like, ignoring this pump over here, around 40-50 cents, right? Yeah. Around this price range for a very long time with random, like, wicks to the upside. Impressive stuff. And then it just suddenly decided to pump all the way to, 88 cents. It showed me $1 on CoinMarketCap's chart. I think I could just find Meme Core. Let me go down here. Why was it up? It was Liquidity Festival Catalyst. August 4, it seems like they're having an event. Wait, what? That happened way long ago. Recent listings on Bitmart. That could be the case, I guess. And they're the first layer 1 blockchain built for Meme 2.0, where people can create more memes, I'm assuming. Or they want to involve more than just memes. Obviously a competitor to something like Pump Fun, right? Which, that's why I brought this up. Pump Fun, I don't think has been moving too much, right? It's kind of has. We're back to an uptrend for it, but I still got that legal battle going on. I'm staying away from Pump Fun for the moment being. I know I already made my profits on it and everything, but I'm gonna let it chill out a little, you know, grab it when it's oversold eventually. I don't even know if it will ever be again, like as low as these prices. They're doing the buybacks appropriately and, you know, that kind of stuff. I don't know when their next token unlocks are. That's something you're probably gonna have to look up. But yeah. Something like Meme Core pumping up like that though. Crazy stuff. And oh yeah, I was looking at the chart. What is that price? It says $1.08. Why did it show 88 cents on this? That's a scam. All right, anyway. Moving on. Did I look at XRP? I mean, we're in a downtrend. Not much else to mention. It's 283. We hit a new low. This was last night's stream, 276. I would have to readjust this then down to this level, so we can determine where our next resistances are. One of them, of course, being that exact $3 mark, 299, 298, whatever. And then, currently the most upcoming resistance is the 290 mark, so watch out for that for XRP if you do care. In terms of entries, though, like that's where I'm lost completely. I don't know where I would DC into other positions on XRP. I'm mainly looking at like 230, but I don't think we're dropping that low. Maybe this is the bottom for XRP. It's somebody else to determine that, not me. Chainlink is just flat on the bottom, and I'm lucky enough to have purchased over here. I do have other orders, though, if it does continue dropping. I'm still very bullish on Chainlink, especially after the great news that we got earlier this week that the United States is getting involved with Chainlink to bring economic data to blockchain, and also Pyth network. I have not looked at Pyth after its huge explosion. It's, you know, kind of coming back down a little. Not too bad. Still really high, 19 cents. Pretty good. I did take profits on this one too, but not a bit too early, of course. Like around 17, I took profits, and then it kept on rising to 24. Crazy stuff. Oh well. Sui also lagging a little bit behind in terms of movements here. Like, let me show you this. So Ethereum had its move, and Solana was like not moving along with Ethereum. And then Solana moves, and Ethereum's kind of already done with its movements. Right now, I think it's Solana's time to shine. And then when Solana's movement kind of dies down a little, then we're going to start seeing some SUI movement and maybe even some Aptos movement. So I'm looking forward to that. Still loading up around these prices. Could have DCA'd another one in 323 realistically, but whatever. I have my next order at 301. A bit skeptical with this drop here. Didn't really necessarily hit oversold areas yet. I think that's going to happen around the $3 mark. So I put 301, obviously, because I'm not going to put it at exactly $3. Probability of that hitting is pretty low. So in order for my order to actually get filled, put it a little bit higher. And I mean, averaging out these price levels that I have happened to be 301. So I was content with that. I'm going to wait to see what happens there, but I'm still loaded up a little bit in SUI. Not as much as I would like probably, but we'll see. Cardano also not a lot of movement, same area as we are. Right on the bottom, 83 cents the current price, finally in profit over here, so we'll see what happens with Cardano. I was a bit nervous with Cardano because I had my trigger order here and we missed it like, no, it was a little lower than this actually, around over here. We missed it twice. And then on the third way down, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to preemptively buy a little. And then I'm going to keep my order here. And then the order finally gets filled. So I was like, okay, well, I was better off not buying and just letting this order get filled. Happened to me with Cardano and with Bitcoin. I entered an extra position on Bitcoin that I should not have over here. Like I entered at the top here and then immediately my next order got filled at 108,100. So could have dropped my average price a little bit lower. But then at the same time, I mean, I wouldn't have this much money invested in it, so I don't know. It's a bit of a neutral stance, and I mean, we're talking huge numbers here anyway, so I'm not too concerned about the itty-bitty, tiny decimal points about entries. As long as we're in it, and I'm hoping things would go up from here. I'm not just hoping that, of course. I've done my analysis, and I think we will. Stellar, obviously clear downtrend. I don't know why I don't have this drawn. Would be helpful. This happened today, this morning. My second order got filled on Stellar. Well, I say second order. This is like, how many orders? I've got a lot invested in here. Probably my second largest position is in Stellar. I don't know why. It just happened to be that way. And I was DCAing. Like, these aren't too, like, these buys over here, they're not too big. But I was thinking like, okay, I'm just going to DCA a bit. Because it is in the negative, I'll just buy a little more, that kind of deal. Safe to say it didn't bring down my average price too much because, I mean, now we're top heavy instead of, you know, buying more heavily at the bottoms to lower the average price a little bit lower. So that's still, you know, ongoing. My average price is 37 now. It was at, I think, 38 or 39, obviously. Super trend is at 38, which is pretty good as well. Quite content with that level. Breaking out of 38 should keep us in an uptrend, and if this was indeed the bottom, I timed it perfectly, and I'm content with that. Moving on. Litecoin, 111,000. I think we dipped below this today. We hit 108,027, lowest point of today. Not as low as I would hope, because I have another trigger order at 105. Nothing really much has changed with Litecoin. Downtrend still intact and invalidates at 117 now. That number has changed at least. We're practically at my entry price. Current price is 111.50 and my entry is 112.33. So I don't think I've got too much in here, right? Litecoin, am I blind? Yeah, 500. It's not too much. So I was hoping this would get filled, but it seems like that is not the case. This would have been a great opportunity, but it didn't get filled by like a couple cents, so it is what it is. Great, that's all we got for technical analysis. Moving on. We got some geopolitical news to talk about, specifically with things pertaining to the Middle East. Israel is back at it again. So we just got confirmation that some Hamas spokesman named Abu Obaida got eliminated by the IDF today. And then we've got this, which is a bit controversial, actually. A lot of people are like, oh, if this happened to any other world leader, war would break out, of course. Israel has eliminated Yemen's Houthi prime minister confirmed dead following an Israeli strike. The IDF came out with this message today. Houthi Prime Minister Ahmed al-Rahawi, along with additional senior officials of the Houthi terrorist regime, were eliminated during an IDF strike in Sana'a, Yemen. At the facility struck were senior officials responsible for the use of force, the military buildup of the Houthi terror regime, and the advancement of terror actions against Israel. The IDF will continue to target against threats of civilians. So, I don't understand exactly how the political layout is set up in Yemen. Like, is this guy the prime minister of Yemen or president of Yemen? I know obviously he's leader of the Houthis, which is considered the terrorist regime. So that guy's been eliminated. I guess there's progress in that end, but what will that bring next, right? Are the Houthis going to respond? Of course, is the United States going to help defend Israel again? Because, they've done so with Iran, with helping them denuclearize. They have struck the Yemen organizations earlier in the Trump administration. I think this was, I don't remember exactly when it happened, but they did say, oh yeah, we bombed some Houthis, and yeah, it is what it is. Stop asking about it. And by the way, they were like, oh, President Trump, please stop bombing us. We'll stop doing, the terrorist stuff. Just stop bombing us. And then Trump was like, okay, well, we'll stop bombing you. And now here comes IDF killing the prime minister of the Houthis. So, I mean, obviously, if they are in a war, this kind of stuff is to be expected. What is going to be the response to this is what me personally I'm a little concerned about. But it seems like the market doesn't really care. I mean, it is a Saturday, low volatility. We're not expecting a big crash or anything around this time because, the volume is not really there. We don't have Wall Street to panic over this, right? But, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Seems like we're pumping on the news a little. Odd. Whatever. And then we also have this come out. A former Israeli defense minister, Guillen, says that there will be another round against Iran. We don't know exactly when. I'm expecting this to happen, like end of this year, beginning of next year. After we have mooned, after we have cycle topped. Yes, I do think the cycle top will be happening maybe after September, October. I'm going to put my bets on October. Some people are saying November, some people are saying December. I don't know. I'm going to go with October. I think we have September, which is upcoming right now, to recover back to all-time highs. And then we'll have October to moon to new all-time highs. And then that should keep us a little... it should give us more happiness, I guess, euphoria, bring us back into the greed stage, and then we'll have our cycle top. And then, you guys can have your little World War III going on in the Middle East, and we can crash from there. We'll see what happens. I don't know why, but there was a lot of rumors that President Trump may have just died, just out of the blue. Yeah, oh, we haven't seen Trump in a while. Is he dead? No, he's not dead. He was confirmed alive, I guess, by the media showing him wandering around in his golf course at his resort in Virginia after just random death rumors. Like, out of nowhere. I see no evidence for this or why people are even discussing it, but I don't know. People are being odd about this, saying that Trump may have died. Anyway, quick update on Russia, Ukraine, and India's involvement. India has rejected Trump's phone call 4 times, allegedly. Trump is trying to, contact India for whatever reason. The Indians are not happy with Trump because of the 50% tariff that was imposed, or I don't know if they dropped it back down to 25%. Something that mentioned about 25% can be taken off, so I don't know if that was necessarily taken off already. And this was all due to Indians buying Russian oil as a way to kind of disincentivize them from buying Russian oil. They're the biggest buyer of Russian oil, so they want Russia to suffer economically, or at least feel a bit of an economical impact, pressure in that sense, to stop the war in Ukraine. That's Trump's reasoning for this, but India being just, their own independent thing, they don't like being involved, I guess, in this conflict resolution kind of thing, although they should also be doing something to help. But it seems like they're just ignoring the Trump extra tariffs, and they'll continue buying Russian oil anyway, because if you don't know about BRICS, Brazil, Russia is there, India is there, China, South Africa. Yeah, I mentioned all five. Okay. They are allied, right? So obviously they're going to back each other up, despite what happens, despite the pressure that Trump is putting in. We don't know if he's going to increase the pressure in any way. Trump has also threatened to sanction Russia, given that Russians are saying that Ukraine leader Zelensky is not willing to end the war. Seems illegitimate. Seems like he's not ready for peace talks. German Chancellor Merz also mentioned in a previous post that I covered, yeah, it's not likely that we're going to get that the Putin-Zelensky meeting that we were all expecting. So all of that of Russian President Putin coming to Alaska, all of that with Ukraine and European leaders coming to the White House to discuss an end to the war was all done in vain, mainly just a photo op, because nothing's really happening there to end the war. And Russia keeps bombing Ukraine from the latest news that I've seen. So that's still ongoing. All of that is to say that Trump has canceled his plans to visit India at all this year. So he's also not happy with Narendra Modi for, not doing his part in helping to pressure Russia to end the war, I guess, is the ultimate reasoning behind all this. And also the rejection of his phone calls. Clearly an indirect, it feels like high school drama all over again. So cool. We have that thing where Trump is preparing to change the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. I don't know, probably to sound more tough, probably to sound like he really means like he's going to go to war with countries, although we got promises that Trump is going to be the president that doesn't start new wars, hence why we all got horrified when the United States got involved in Iran's denuclearization by force by bombing their nuclear sites on behalf of Israel. So that was spooky stuff. Anyway, he's trying to seem more tougher, I guess, with renaming this. And he gave his reasoning during a press conference about why he wants to rebrand Department of Defense to Department of War, saying Department of Defense sounds a little too peaceful, and, we really are the Department of War, and back in the World War days, that's what it was called, and we should go back to those days. Kind of message was what he was giving out. Fed Waller, I don't know when this was mentioned, but he mentioned that rate cuts could be kicking off in September, and he is backing a 25 basis point rate cut at the upcoming meeting. So there you go, confirmed from Fed Waller. We're getting a rate cut vote on his behalf. Of course, we have to see what the rest of the Fed governors think. It's likely leaning toward a yes. The percentages of us seeing a rate cut is still in the high 80s last time I checked. It was 87 yesterday, or 86, I think. Yeah, we're still at 86. That probability is still there, and we're still pricing in 2 rate cuts for this year. One will be happening in the upcoming meeting on September 17, and then nothing in October, and then one more in November. December 10, sorry. That's the second rate cut that we're expecting. For this upcoming meeting, though, it will be important because the Fed is also going to be providing their projections on how they think the economy is doing and whether or not we are to expect more rate cuts. Could be the make or break moment of whether or not we get our second rate cut for the year, or maybe even if we get a third rate cut, or maybe if we don't get a rate cut at all, right? So we'll see what the Feds think by then in the next important meeting of September. So that's what we've got to look out for. A bit of drama coming from the AI companies, OpenAI and xAI. So Elon Musk and Sam Altman. It's not them specifically. Well, maybe Elon Musk kind of. It has to do with a developer actually. So we have got Elon Musk suing, well, not Elon Musk, but the company xAI suing a Chinese engineer. His name is Chui Chen Li for allegedly uploading Grok's codebase to OpenAI after he got hired by them. So he used to work at used to work at xAI, now works for OpenAI. And then sold his $7 million in xAI shares. He's no longer supposed to be working for xAI, and leaking the code base is a no-no. So that is why he is being sued now, making $7 million in profit as well. They're saying xAI engineer allegedly stole the entire Grok code base for OpenAI after cashing out $7 million in stock. For the record, xAI is not public, it's private. You can't publicly trade it on the stock market. Why would you ever jeopardize your career and those millions these companies throw at you by stealing code? Elon Musk replied to this himself, saying that, not allegedly, he downloaded the entire xAI code repo, the repository, and the logs prove that he did it, and he admitted he did it. So, with more reason, these guys are going after that Chinese engineer, because he's helping a competitor at the end of the day. And of course, these are two major companies that they don't want, they don't want the other company to know their little secrets. So that kind of stuff has been going on with these two. There's also that other legal battle going on. It has to do with Elon Musk and Sam Altman beefing on Twitter, blaming each other for manipulation of data with their AI. Elon Musk would say things like, "Oh, your ChatGPT, it's not reliable. You alter information, you're censoring information, and you're not being genuine with it, right?" And an example he provided was during the 2024 election, you would ask ChatGPT, "Hey, who should I vote? Tell me why I should vote for Kamala Harris." "Oh, sure. Here's, I don't know, 13 reasons why you should vote for Kamala Harris." "Okay, tell me why I should vote for Donald Trump." "Sorry, I can't help with that." "Oh, okay." So there's obviously biased information in that sense. And then Sam Altman went back at Elon Musk saying, "You know what? You're the one that's manipulative and not genuine because, I mean, tell me if I'm wrong, but you manipulated the algorithm on Twitter, for example, a company that you own, to make yourself look better. You made your tweets more accessible to more people on purpose. You changed the algorithm." And he even got Grok AI to confirm this as an unbiased AI, saying, "Yeah, you know what? There is evidence that Elon Musk did manipulate the algorithm to boost his own engagement on his tweets, especially during Super Bowl era, stuff like that." So there's that whole battle, like, you manipulate, no, you manipulate, you're a liar, well, you're the liar. And then it had to do mainly with the partnership that OpenAI has with Apple, and the fact that Apple is promoting OpenAI, and like on the App Store, "Hey, here's the top AI tool you should download," and it would promote ChatGPT instead of Grok AI. And Elon Musk is like, "But why? Grok has more downloads, it has higher reviews, and it's just the better AI compared to ChatGPT." Of course, Apple has no comment on this, but xAI is suing them as well over that manipulation of information. And I mean, I don't know, maybe this Chinese guy over here, this Chinese engineer, he's now working for OpenAI after working at xAI. And maybe, OpenAI bribed him to say, "Hey, give us some of that special sauce. What is xAI doing with their Grok that makes it so good and so intelligent? We want that." So that's probably why he leaked the code base. I don't know, just a little thought process going on in my brain. All right. M2 money supply. Do you guys remember this stuff? I was sharing it before, and it seemed like it was the perfect Bitcoin price predictor. I was saying, like, hey, by July, by August, we'll see Bitcoin at 160,000 maybe because of how fast this global M2 money supply line is going up. And if you offset it by 80 days, you'll see Bitcoin's price resembles it very closely. Well, it's kind of deviated since then, since this month of August. We've kind of decoupled from it, right? And we always mention this as well. It doesn't follow it to a T. Otherwise, what's the point of the markets if you know that the Bitcoin will follow global M2 money supply 100% of the time? It won't. 20% of the time, it does deviate. And that explains why there's some gaps in some areas. But overall, the trajectory, and that's what I mentioned was most important of all this if you don't believe in this kind of stuff, is that the global M2 money supply, this is the amount of money that exists in the world, is going up. And we've been making all-time highs for a very long time, right? And by the way, we just hit a new all-time high. That's an outdated chart, but here's the new chart. Global liquidity is at all-time highs. So what's going on with it? Here's the analysis as to where Bitcoin's price is compared to that. And I mentioned, hey, it's going up. It doesn't matter how high up, and Bitcoin will follow that. It's ultimately what I'm looking at. But now people are trying to pay attention to, okay, where are we topping out this cycle? Where will we no longer rise? Where does the 4-year cycle end? Will there even be a bear market? Some people think there will no longer be a bear market. Some people think this will be a super cycle. Maybe they're a bit too bullish. I don't know. I'm keeping it conservative. I'm saying we're topping by October, November. 135,000, just to keep things super simple. I'm expecting those expectations to be broken. That's why I'm keeping them very low. Expectations to be broken in a good way, of course. Like, I want Bitcoin to perform much better than that, than the levels that I'm putting it, but I'm still just keeping it very conservative because I don't want to be surprised to the downside, just in case. Here's the analysis from Colin. While global M2 has not yet reclaimed all-time highs, well, it has now, it has steadily trended upwards since its local bottom in mid-October. So maybe October is the high? I don't know. If it resumes this trend and puts in new highs, this would be a positive thing for Bitcoin, especially in terms of the possibility of a cycle peak later this year, and that could extend even up until December is what his analysis points to. Of course, this is not a prediction thing, it's just something to help you determine where are we headed, likely, and it's looking like it's up nonetheless. That is also part of the reason why I remain bullish. Contrast that with a hypothetical scenario whereby global M2 keeps dropping and does not put in a new all-time high. In that case, it would be very likely that the cycle is over. Sure, I would agree with it. If by December we top out and start dropping an M2 money supply, sure, I'll let that happen. It's fine. I'm fine with the cycle top by December. Or just, this final quarter of the year in general. Furthermore, regarding decoupling, this separation that we're seeing right over here, Bitcoin has decoupled from M2 before, even on this very chart, right? You're seeing the distances a couple times over here. He gives us a couple of options, 3 options here. 1, Bitcoin has a lot of ground to make up, and it may do so violently and suddenly when the time comes, perhaps in a month from now. And I think this is the most likely of the 3 options. I tend to agree. The fact that we have a lot of liquidations ready, like short squeeze, it's going to be huge because people are thinking, what if 124,000 was the cycle top? We're going to short the market because we want to outsmart things. I think they're wrong, and I think they're going to get their shorts squeezed, if you know what I'm saying. Bitcoin will pick up correlation. This is the second option. And it will continue to mirror the M2, but from its lower location on the chart. So what if we just start moving at the same pace as we're seeing over here, but just like lower? It's going to be a slow recovery to the all-time high that we currently have, right? I wish I could draw on this. And I will. Pay attention to this, okay? Let me just improvise midstream. I know, very professional, but just bear with me. So what if we just start, okay, can I get it like a yellow color? Because that's what we're using. Oh, actually I should use orange. There we go. So what if we just start like following that exact line, right? What if this happens? That's the second option, which would mean a slow recovery all the way back up. I don't think that's going to happen. The fact that we have so much liquidations, and what I mean by this is like all this. So much liquidations, short squeezes, that's just going to push the price up violently, like that post said. I think, look at this. Come on. You're telling me we're not going to hit all-time highs once again like that fast? I think we will, because a lot of people are calling the tops on this, right? Huge liquidation amounts over here. Violent surges are likely, in my opinion. So there's that. And then the third is that the bull run is over. The 122K top, I think it was 124K, but whatever, every chart is different. It was the final peak. I don't personally think this is the case. It's not my base case. I give highest odds to Bitcoin seeing new highs later this year. I do as well, so I'm willing to believe the first option over here. And that's what I think you guys should too. Well, I'm not saying we should believe, but, you know, make your own analysis, draw your own conclusions. I think we're still gonna head back up to our all-time highs and much higher. Remember, guys, there's institutions buying, there's governments buying, there's people with lots of money putting all of their wealth in Bitcoin and crypto. It is going to be the future. Like, you're scared to lose your couple $1,000s. Like, all right, come on, let's be real here. These guys are in the millions and possibly billions. They don't want to lose that kind of money either. Of course, markets are going to pump. It's just a matter of shaking you out because they don't want you to make the gains that they know that they will. So, you know, keep that in mind. El Salvador is splitting its Bitcoin holdings across multiple wallets due to the threat of quantum computing. Smart, but maybe not smart. I don't know. The threats of quantum computing, if you don't know, it's the fact that, you know, computer chips will be so advanced and this new technology will emerge, the quantum computing, that it's going to be so good and so fast, so efficient, so smart that it's going to be able to like crack passwords and brute force, you know, into your login credentials and steal everybody's information and data because it's going to be so fast and efficient, right? Something that would take a computer normally like thousands of years to crack or decrypt any code. Quantum computing will be able to do that in a matter of seconds, that kind of deal. And it brings it to the whole issue of the Bitcoin mining, right? The hash rates. How long it takes to mine a Bitcoin, how much energy does it consume. With quantum computing, if this new technology starts coming out, it's going to revolutionize everything and probably diminish the value of Bitcoin. First of all, because it's just going to mine the rest of the Bitcoins really fast, to the point where, you know, okay, there's no more hype about, oh, we're going to reach the 21 million milestone in the year 2100 something. Like, that's no longer going to be a thing. What if we just mine the rest of the Bitcoins like tomorrow? That kind of deal. So there's that fear. And then, of course, like, at that point, people are saying, okay, really, why would people use quantum computing for that? Like, they would use it to hack everybody else, like big companies, big institution, banks, steal all that kind of money if you're using it maliciously, right, to say the least. Or like, I don't know, nuclear codes and government stuff, that kind of deal. That's what I would be more concerned about. I wouldn't be concerned about them mining all the Bitcoin all at once, right? And that's what El Salvador is kind of preparing to do. They're separating all the Bitcoin that they have, which apparently seemed to be they had it all in one wallet. And now they're separating it into many different wallets. Across 14 wallets, they're spreading out their 6,283 Bitcoins, each capped at 500 Bitcoins per wallet. So every one of their wallets that they have, 500 Bitcoins are in there. So, in total, it's $680 million that they have over the quantum computing threats. Then it begs the question of, okay, so, hold on, I had it in this previous post. Let me go back here. This, if quantum computing breaks SHA 256, the Bitcoin mining stuff, there's no way hackers can open more than one wallet, which is satire, it's sarcasm. Of course, if we can mine all the Bitcoins with quantum computing, they're going to be able to hack into, you know, any wallet. The seed phrases, it's not going to be an issue. Like, they're going to be able to hack into any Bitcoin crypto wallet and just steal everybody's Bitcoins. That's also another issue with the whole quantum computing thing. So that's the one of the bigger threats to Bitcoin is that kind of technology, which I think we're very far away from. Google claimed that they had their version of a quantum computing chip, but I don't know if there's any plans to roll that out or how fast they're going to start spreading it around. Hey, but in the meantime, I'm here to ride the wave, and, you know, by the time we top out this cycle, I think I'll be richer than what I was yesterday. So that's the way I'm looking at it. Bald ends wool. Holding fiat is really the money loss with the way they're printing, and that is true. And that is why we are in favor of rate cuts, my friend, because cutting those rates will make it easier to print out money, you know, take out loans, get the money flowing in the economy is what their reasoning for it is. But that's the point. That's what we want as well, because Bitcoin is the best hedge against inflation. And the more you devalue the US dollar, the stronger Bitcoin gets. So that is indeed part of the reason why we are in favor of that. Also, just a flex from El Salvador president himself, Nayib Bukele, saying that we have reached 1,000 days without homicides since President Nayib Bukele assumed the presidency. So El Salvador seems to be the place to be. If I was to move anywhere in the world, I think, you know, one of my top 3 locations, one of them would be El Salvador. No capital gains tax, pro-Bitcoin president, and really low crime rates, right? Second to there would probably be America. I like Trump. I like American values. I'm really getting into American politics, even though I shouldn't be. I have nothing to do with that, and I should focus on my own country in Canada. If I do want to get into politics, I would like to. I don't know. I see how bad the country is doing in terms of politics and economy and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know. I'm scared my views might be a little too radical for the average man. So, whatever. If I could be prime minister of this country, I think I could do the right stuff, but I don't know how I would do it. That's the question, and it requires a lot of studying, and I can't just show up out of the blue and be like, hey, I'm running for prime minister. Like, I don't think it works like that. But anyway, would be pretty funny. Good stuff for El Salvador. Grant Cardone, of course, a well-known billionaire. He's selling his mansion in Miami for, well, it's valued at $43 million, but he wants 400 Bitcoin, no cash accepted, also moving away from fiat money, right? Interesting. And of course, if you do the math, that does equate to approximately 43 million, right? 400 Bitcoins, $100,000 each. Yeah, it's about 43 million, I think, right? Am I wrong? I was trying to do this math with my parents, and I think we came to the right conclusion. 400 Bitcoins. If each Bitcoin is 109,000. Yeah, that is 43 million. Okay, I don't know where the zeros are coming from. I'm not a math major. Give me a break. But there you go. Grant Cardone bullish on Bitcoin. Just, I mean, come on. Billionaires are also getting in on the Bitcoin action. $1 billion also just got minted at USDT Treasury. I think that's like maybe 3 days in a row I'm seeing stuff like this. Bulls are ready to load up and buy more. Buy this dip that's going on right over here. And maybe they're already starting. I don't know. Bitcoin's currently on the rise. 109,400. Good stuff. Good recovery. We also have confirmation from Bloomberg. There are 15 pending XRP ETFs with the SEC. And that kind of stuff should start getting approved, hopefully, by October, because that is when they keep delaying stuff. They've been delayed all year, honestly. It's been a little bit annoying. I mean, the only win we got with ETFs this year was the Solana ETF from Rex shares, allowing staking on it too, which was a big W. But we still want, you know, staking for Ethereum ETFs. That still, I don't think, has come out yet. And then we want other coins coming out with ETFs. I do know we have a XRP ETF in Canada. I'm investing in it and everything. We have 4. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP. United States already has 3 of those, and it seems like XRP seems to be the next most likely to get approved. I know we're getting those odds all the time, like, yeah, oh, this coin is likely to get approved. No, that coin is likely to get approved. We had Litecoin pump on the news that it was likely to get its ETF approved next, right? But no, all of them keep on getting delayed, and it's all so far been pushed up to October, and I'm hoping by October that's just the final. Like they'll start approving stuff. It would help with the mooning situation, the cycle top alt season, that kind of deal, with news of these ETFs getting approved. So, in my opinion, we are still early. Does it show the companies here? This looks like more than 14, and I can't zoom in. Crypto index. What are these assets? Bitcoin and Ethereum. Here's all of them actually. That's interesting. All the ETFs that have been proposed to the SEC. So there's hybrids, it looks like Bitcoin and Ethereum mixed. There's a basket of cryptocurrencies, right? Large cap from Grayscale, for example, or Bitwise, top 10 cryptos. You have the Litecoin ETFs from Canary, Grayscale, CoinShares. This is actually really useful. I'm gonna save this for later. Grayscale Solana ETFs we have from Grayscale, Vanek, 21 Shares, Canary, Bitwise, Franklin, and Fidelity, and Invesco. We have a Dogecoin ETF. We've got XRP ETFs from the usual guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only see 7 on this list. Where's the 14? Oh, here's XRP derivatives. That's not spot though. But there's 6 more. What did I say? 7, I think. 7 plus 6. Oh, here's another XRP ETF. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's 8. 8 plus 6, 14. I think, yeah. There's your 14 ETFs. Okay. We also got Cardano ETF coming out. HBAR, Polkadot, Dogecoin, I mentioned. Polkadot, I mentioned. Avalanche. Did I say Avalanche? We've got more Ethereum ETFs coming out. Another Bitcoin. SUI ETF, I'm hyped for that. From Canary. Crypto ETP all? What? We have a Say ETF. I covered that yesterday. Injective ETF. I didn't know about that one. Chainlink ETFs we've heard of. AXL. What is that? What is that? What is AXL? I never heard of AXL. Axel. The heck? Axelar. Oh my gosh. I've heard of Axelar ages ago. From Phantom. Not just Phantom, it's cross-chain that supports Phantom, but this is outdated. We're now in Sonic era. Okay, interesting. Didn't know that's happening. Binance ETF, Pengu ETF, that's pretty funny. Canary is going crazy with these ETFs. Near Protocol, Ondo, Trump Coin ETF from Rex. A lot of Rex Osprey ETFs have not yet come out. Well, this one's existing already, right? The Solana Staking ETF, SSK, that exists. If you would like to invest in that, SSK, Rex Osprey, Solana Staking ETF. When it came out, huge pump. I know, right? Funny. Yeah, it's mimicking the price of, not the price, the movement of Solana. Gosh, I'm all over the place today. Bonk ETF is there for whatever reason. And yeah, more of the same. Cool, good stuff. I'm excited for that. And I'm assuming these should all be first deadline, final deadline. A lot of these are in October, if you look. These are for Solana ETFs, October 10. Some are a little bit later, like November, December. The XRP ones are in October, you'll see right here. October 19, 22, 23, 24 of this year. SUI ETF, December. Oh, that's pretty late. And then these are not applicable. We don't know those dates yet. This one's already got approved, I'm assuming. Yeah. The ones that are in green are already approved. The final deadlines. So, yeah, please stop pushing it forward and get those ETFs approved. We need all season to happen. I spoke about Canadian economy a little bit earlier, and I mean, this is embarrassing, but Nvidia is more GDP than Canada. Pretty funny. And also, not GDP, sorry, just it's worth more. Nvidia is a $4 trillion company. Canada's worth 3 point something trillion. Um, in terms of our GDP, Texas does better than Canada. A state in the United States is doing better than our whole country, and we are like 70 times the size of Texas or something. I don't know. 10 million less people is what Texas has, and yet a higher GDP per capita. We should just become the 51st state. Like, just take us at this point. If not, then I'll run for office or something. I don't know. That's a joke. Probably not. But we'll see. All right, cool. I know it's crazy stuff. All right. Yeah, that's what we got for today in terms of news. I think I overstayed my welcome. 1 hour stream. What did I even talk about? There was like no news. Anyways, thanks guys so much for watching. I'll end it off here. We already know next week what to expect. Friday is important day. Non-farm payroll data and unemployment will help determine what we see for rate cuts in September. September 17, of course. Very important Fed decision day. We'll get projections there too. That's forthcoming in the month of September. August ended up being a red month by what it seems like. Even if we turn around a little bit by tomorrow, I don't think it's going to make a big difference. We're going to be in the red nonetheless. So I'm hoping September, which historically speaking has been a red month, will be a green month this year. Because we had the same deal happen last year. The same narrative that, oh, September is going to be a bad month. Expect the worst in September. I mean, we started off September with a dip. And I mean, we ended up with a large movement, 2024 of September. So I'm expecting something similar to happen. And October, of course, we know will be great. I'm expecting cycle top there, at least like hitting my target of 135,000 by October. I think that's a realistic target. Maybe even, I wouldn't go as early as September. I'll give it till October. I'll be nice with it. So yeah. Guarantee by November. It has to. Something has to happen by November. All right. Yeah, that'll be all for today then. Thanks guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I will see you tomorrow, like I said, if I'm doing nothing. And I don't know. We'll see if there is indeed a big announcement from Trump as rumored. Yep. Catch you guys in the next